G'day, Craig here. We're going to have a look at one of the programs I like to use when working with the writing tablet. If we go down to the Start menu and under all programs here at school, what we've got is an Adobe Master Collection, and there's a program here, Adobe Photoshop, which works really well. So I'm going to open that program up, and what we need to do to start with is make some new pages. So File, New, and so you need to set the width and the height so you've got the right sort of perspective. I go with 200 by 150 for no particular reason other than I just sort of like the shape of that. And if you want to make your page a bit bigger, just go View and then make that fit on the screen, so it sort of makes it a lot bigger, and that's better. It's actually not a bad idea to open up a number of screens, so I'm going to go New again. And again I'll make that fit on the screen, and that way when we're working we can actually toggle between these pages and it all works pretty nicely. So I'm going to have 3 pages here, and I'm just changing the view to fit on the screen. Now the next thing that I want to do is I usually like working with like a blackboard with light coloured writing rather than a whiteboard. The reason for that is because I often upload things onto YouTube and think that's probably a little bit more eco-friendly. So I'm just going to skip across and I'm going to paint using the paint bucket tool the whole screen black. Now you can see this paint bucket tool here. Sometimes if you just click and hold down on that, you'll find that instead of a paint bucket tool it's set to the gradient tool. If that's the case, then obviously just hold down and move to the paint bucket tool. Down the bottom you'll notice that there's 2 colours down there. There's a red and a green, and if I click on this with the paint bucket tool, I've painted my whole screen red. It's not really what I'm after. So if we click on the red tab down the bottom there, we can actually change this to black, and now if I fill, I've got a nice black screen. Now I need to repeat that by just jumping to the next screen up the top. I'll fill this screen so it's black, and I'll do the same with the 3rd screen. So now I've got my blackboard ready to go. Now I want to think about doing some writing. So we'll go across to the brush tool and click on that, and at the moment the paint in my brush tool is also set to black, so if I try writing obviously I'm not going to have any effect. So because there's 2 colours down here, I can just click on that toggle tool and that'll bring green to the foreground, and I can start writing using that green. If for some reason your line is not the right size, go up here to the top and just adjust the size of your writing to something that works well for you. The next thing that we need to look at doing is maybe changing the colour of that writing to something different. If I just go back down here and click on the green pad, I've got a choice here. Maybe I'll skip across and make this more of a purpley colour. So I'll go OK, and so that's good to go. If I toggle using that little arrow up the top, that brings the black to the front, and if I click on the black, then I might go to a maybe yellow type colour. So I go OK. Now I've got 2 colours sitting there which I can toggle between fairly easily, and when I'm finished with writing on this page I can just skip to the next page and continue my work. So that all works fairly